Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review, we are looking at the Marvel Legends AoA SHADOWCAT, part of the Colossus Build-A-Figure wave. And this is surprisingly one of the best figures of the wave. Actually, it's one of the better figures they've released in a while, with one glaring, terrible flaw. But the rest of it's really good, so maybe it'll be worth getting for you. You'll have to stick around to find out. So let's go ahead and get it off the stand and take a closer look. This figure stands just about 6 1/8 inches tall, which makes it pretty close to 15.5 centimeters, a little bit more than that. And it does feature mostly new parts. That's not true. About half new parts, and I believe it was a bunch of Lady Deathstrike parts. These, maybe not the torso. I was thinking the torso, but probably not. Probably just the legs. So a bunch of new parts will be fine. Alrighty, question of the day. I'm going to ask this one even though I asked it in another recent video or upcoming video depending on when I upload them. How do you guys feel about the hike in price to $25 for Marvel Legends? To me, they aren't worth it. We'll see if that changes as the price continues to be that price, but we'll see. Okay, so this figure does reuse some parts, but I think it reuses them very well. They happen to be really good parts. These legs are sculpted very nicely. They have thicker thighs, pinched in knees, some calf muscles, pinched in ankles, good proportioning for the long bones. Everything's good there. And then the new sculpted parts, like the arms, very nicely sculpted. We have that pattern going on all the way down the sleeve, and then up here it's actually sculpted with that extra little strap. Same thing on this side. The torso is sculpted to continue that pattern. You can see the proportions are really nice for the arms and legs and the torso. And I want to point out, they actually have the shoulders behind the neck, which is the right way to do it. They're firing on all cylinders with this sculpt. It's pretty darn good. I quite like it. It's in a nice metallic blue. That's good. The only part that's really a problem there is the painted part on the upper arm. This side's not as bad, but this side, it's pretty lacking. I don't know if you guys can see that, but this whole half, the left side, is not painted enough. You can see skin peeking through, but it's still pretty good. The belt is very nicely detailed. The little gauntlets are nicely detailed. They added the little collar thingy to the sculpt, so that's cool. Very nicely done overall. I would say the head sculpt is okay. I don't think the hair really suits the character as much as it should. The face sculpt, I can't tell if it's good or not because the paint job is so bad. What face is she making? That's the thing that's so bad about this figure, is it's got a really goofy face. I can't tell if she tasted something she doesn't like, if she's trying to make some kind of weird face, something. I don't know, but that's a horrible combination of sculpt and paint. I can't say what because the paint has ruined it. It could be a good sculpt underneath, or it could be a terrible sculpt and the paint did its best to save it. I don't know. The eyes are well done, but the mouth is so jacked that it looks like she's trying to hold in a fart, or she smelled a fart, or both. I don't know. It's not good. There's no wash on the hair either. Can we have some consistency, please? Why do half the figures, maybe less than half, have a wash on the hair, and then the other half have nothing? There's no reason we can't have consistency across a line, especially a line from a company as big as Hasbro. That seems unreasonable to me. That being said, it does still look pretty good. There's no shading or anything anywhere, but the belt is painted nicely. There are good things about this figure, obviously. So I'm going to give it a rating for the aesthetic of... I don't want to do it, but I'm going to say 8 out of 10. The face really throws it off and could be a deal breaker for a lot of people, but not counting that, I think it's perfectly sufficient. It looks good, a lot of new sculpt work, that's cool. As far as accessories go, we do have the open hands that come on in the package and the normal gauntlets. Then we do get the gauntlets with the claws and some punchy hands. That's good enough. I think that's all right. Another head would have been great, but this is okay. I'll give it a 7 out of 10. It's nothing extraordinary, but it'll do. For the articulation, we do have our double ball peg, and I'd like to point out, this time they actually put enough of an opening there for the ball to work in the neck. You can really get some more decent motion out of that bottom ball. They haven't been doing that consistently on these double ball peg implementations. So let's see how it works. Yeah, it's still not as good as it could be, but it does lean side to side pretty well. You can rotate it, of course, and lean at the same time. Doesn't look up as much as I would like, or down. Yeah, okay, I take it back. It's better than before, so I guess I don't take it back. It is better than before, but they're still not doing a good job of implementing the double ball peg. It's not a difficult joint to design, especially since there's no weight, there's no force being applied to it. It's just a neck joint. You can make it loose if you want to, as long as it's not floppy, and it would work. But this is like, there's no reason for it. I mean, companies have been doing ball sockets since the 80s. and it's like not new tech. I don't understand why it's difficult. It's not working. It's good enough, but it's not working the way it should. Shoulders do go up better than horizontal. You do get your full rotation. Oh man, I just realized they didn't give us double jointed elbows on this release. Why the heck not? Can't even get that one to go. How about this side? There we go. So you do get better than 90 degrees. That's fine. If you're going to do a single joint, that's okay. You get your bicep swivel out of that, but double jointed elbows are a thing that should exist in this line consistently across every figure. Sort of maybe the biggest and bulkiest like Hulks, but that's not okay. Wrists do have a swivel and a hinge. Diaphragm joint does lean back pretty nicely. Leans forward almost zero, to the side a decent amount, and your rotation not good enough. It can't really lean forward, and it doesn't even lean back that far. Why are ball sockets, ball pegs, whatever you want to call them, so difficult? I don't get it. Hasbro, we know you can do better than this, and for the price points that you're coming up on, you have to, as far as I'm concerned. Loose belt. Hips go out to the side far enough, could go farther, but it'll do. Going forward, they're kind of loose, by the way, but she does kick high enough. It's about horizontal. They don't really go back. I mean, that's more or less a neutral. Thigh swivel is nicely hidden and is a nice thigh swivel. Double jointed knee is perfectly well done. Ankles go all the way back and not far enough forward. That's a bummer. And the ankle rocker is okay. So articulation on this figure is definitely lacking. It's fine. I'll give it a 7 out of 10, but it could be a 9 or 10 out of 10 so easily. Like, this is such a basic character design that you could just riddle it with articulation that's functional without costing any more or being overly complex. So that's a problem, but it's still good enough. So okay, final verdict on this release. I want to like it so much more as a reviewer. There's so much good going on here and so much that they just left on the table that didn't need to be. So that's a bummer. Personally, I really enjoy the figure. I don't like the face at all, but I can look past that. But as a reviewer, I have to consider everything, and I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. It could have been so much higher, at least 2 points, or at most 2 points, but it could have been higher, and they just didn't. They just didn't. There's no reason for it, but they just didn't. It doesn't cost more to make a functional ball socket than it does to make a non-functional one when it's a brand new sculpt. Just make it work better. So that's a little bit disappointing, but it is a cool release. Maybe my personal favorite out of the whole wave. Not sure, but probably. All right, guys, let me know how you feel about this figure in the comment section below. Let me know how you feel about the review by giving it a thumbs up if you liked it, or a thumbs down if you didn't. And if you haven't subscribed, you should. I think you should, because I do have new videos almost every single day, and I have over 4,000 already on the channel, so you can come back for all of that good stuff. In the meantime, keep collecting.